Welcome to the JD Capital Podcast, where we help property investors and homeowners confidently navigate their way to financial freedom. This is Jai Kao, your host, where we'll unpack everything there is to know about wealth building and financial literacy. Happy listening. Welcome back to the JD Capital Podcast. We're back on. We've got Aron and Valentina. And
Hello.
Today, guys, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be exposing a little bit more about what we want to achieve in 2025, share a bit about our journey and our goals, because you guys love to hear about what we want to do and how we're personally growing as well. And it's also a great way to inspire you and also share what is possible. And hear a little bit about behind the scenes. So welcome, Aron, and welcome, Valley.
Thank you.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Excited to be here.
Very exciting. Now, first question for you is, what is something that you're looking forward to this year in terms of personal growth in your portfolio?
I think you should take this one, Aron.
Yeah. What I'm excited about this year, honestly, is Valentina and I are at a point where we've been investing for about 5 or 6 years now. We've done pretty well, I think. We're going to diversify a little bit. So we're looking at self-managed super fund purchases, and we're looking at commercial purchases, because at this stage our portfolio is residential, which is really, really fantastic assets to hold. But I think we want to use that self-managed super model to buy at least one commercial property and be in that space.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
And why commercial?
Commercial, because I think later in life it's good for cash flow. I think, people have different opinions on this. Some people see commercial as very, very risky, and I would have to agree it's definitely a riskier asset class than residential. But as I said, the payoff to that risk is that the cash flow should be better. So it's that for us, and it's diversification. We've already got a pretty solid residential portfolio, and we're not done with it. We're still going to be buying some more, but we want to be in a few different areas.
And how about you, Valley?
What's the most exciting thing? Oh, gosh. Look, for me, it was actually our launch. I really wanted to get on board. I'd been waiting in the background until we were ready, pretty much. I think most people know we still work full time, Aron and myself, and I just had to wait until the right time. And so for me, it's to get a foothold in the business, to really start growing with Aron. It's I really like working in a new space, so that's going to be the biggest exciting point for me.
And how is managing full-time work and business work, right? I think there's a lot of people who want to start a business, but they underestimate how much work is required.
Yes.
You guys are doing both at the moment. So I'm really keen just to hear how you guys are doing it and how you're managing.
We're laughing because we know how crazy it is. And in the last few weeks, it's become very apparent how much effort and energy it takes. And I personally think I couldn't do it without Aron. He is such a great support when I feel like crying because I'm so busy. He is there to go, don't worry, we'll figure it out. Let's reassess.
Most of the time.
When
I'm not also crying.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The love and support there, guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's having the support around you, to feel safe, to feel like, guys, I'm not okay or I need some help is really important. But I also think reassessment, in terms of a more practical approach, one of the biggest things we've been talking about is when either of us notice that we're overstressed or we haven't been able to cope with, or not necessarily clients, but things we're forgetting, whether it's day-to-day things, we go, okay, it's time to reassess. We need basically a point where we stop, we need to spend a couple of hours together and go, well, what hasn't been working? Because if we continue on that same pathway, it's just going to lead to burnout, and we want to enjoy this journey that we're on. We don't want to feel like it's so cumbersome and a drag that we don't enjoy it, because we are still really passionate about property, like our property investing journey, but also helping others to do that as well.
I think, I mean, we have these check-ins pretty regularly. In fact, tomorrow we're off to the Hunter Valley for a few nights with some friends, and we've chiseled out two things actually. We are having a chat with someone regarding some future purchases, but we're also going to do that check-in that Valentina just talked about. And yeah, right back at you. You're an amazing support, and I know this is getting lovey-dovey. We won't let this go too far, but
No, I'm joking.
no, seriously, could not do this without you, and I sincerely mean that. I think we make a really awesome team, and the JD Capital team's grown pretty significantly this year. We've got a really solid support team with us, with the three of us. And it's kind of the dream team at the moment, 99% of the time.
Well, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but our slogan is "You're stronger when you have help."
Yeah.
Oh,
So
true.
we always have to remind each other that it's a very lonely path if you go on it on your own.
Yeah.
Right. And business is lonely already.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of business owners struggle. I've run 3 businesses in total now, and I can tell you it's struggle street.
Yeah.
Very lonely. Most people don't know what you're going through, right? Because they can't necessarily relate or give advice. So it's very inspiring to see that you guys are doing this together as a couple, and also building it on the side as well, to build up a very successful business, helping other people, and very rewarding.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done, guys.
Thank you. It's really exciting.
I'm going to throw to you, Jai. I think you can bring me another question. What do you think?
Sure. Well, where do you guys get your drive from? So you're obviously working really hard. A lot of people want to start a business, and you guys got your property portfolio as well, which is technically another business, right? It's
Yeah.
managing multiple properties, and you got lots of admin and stuff to do. Where's the drive coming from?
You want to answer this one?
Me?
Yeah.
So I come from a Spanish background, and the first word that came to my head was the word inquieto, which means can't stay still. But that is probably the best word that I can bring to not just myself, but Aron as well. We both have our own, we're restless. We're always looking for something to do. We like to relax, although Aron struggles a little bit sometimes to relax.
I'm getting better.
You are getting better. There is value.
Yeah.
But having that constant drive to learn, that constant drive to help, I'm not sure exactly necessarily where that flows from, but I just find learning and feeling interested and engaged with things really purposeful, personally.
Yeah. Look, I think for me, what keeps me driven is I just want to generate choice for myself and for us. I've talked about this before. I am not desperate to not be working. You speak to people and they go, if I won the lotto, I'd walk out of work, and people are going to probably watch this and think I'm a nut job, but I actually cannot say with any confidence if I won the lotto tomorrow that I'd go and quit my job. And I'm actually really happy that that's the case, because it means I'm not turning up to work every day because I have to be there. I'm turning up because I want to be there. So that's the goal for me. That's what keeps me driven. I think property investing is a really, really good way to achieve freedom. And I know the word financial freedom, let's not use it, it's so generic, but it's manufacturing choice.
Yeah, 100%. I think people need to go back to why they're doing it, right? Because achieving financial freedom or freedom, that's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? That version of or definition of freedom is different. It's a different meaning. And it can create a lot of choices and opportunities for people, right? But if I look back at when I was working in corporate versus working in JD Capital, what I realized is I've never worked harder than before. And I actually enjoy working so much more.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to stop working.
Yeah.
So it's doing what you love, I think, and also going back to your earlier point around learning and growth. What I've realized is to become happy, I think we also need to have growth, because if you're not growing, that doesn't become fulfilling.
No.
And often when you hear about people who retired or exited really large companies and got paid out, a lot of the times when you listen to what they said afterwards, how do they feel? They're like, they kind of felt empty because they had spent all that time building that. And then they finally got to that end goal and then it was done. Right? And they might have been very happy for a very short period of time, but then it wasn't as fulfilling as that growing process.
Do you reassess, Jai? Much, you know, we've talked before about goals and how things change, and do you find yourself reassessing?
All the time.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, good.
The goalposts always move. Once you hit a goal, it's, you know, what's the next thing? And I think when I look back at how I set goals, it's more around growth now. It's more about personal growth. So the person you become is going to be very different, right, when you hit that new goal. And the person you need to be in order to get to that next level is going to be a different you. And that's what excites me the most.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that is actually really exciting.
Yeah.
Did you find that you've had to make a lot of sacrifices with that though?
I think sacrifices in a different way. It depends on how you kind of view sacrifices. I think if I look at different aspects of life, obviously the partying and the freedom in terms of like going out with friends and going on holidays, that's definitely a bit more of a sacrifice. But you spend more time on what you love doing more. And I think that's really allowed me to spend more time on what I truly value. Whereas before, time felt like it was an abundance of time. Whereas now, everyone has the same 24 hours, but how you use that 24 hours is really up to you, right? So I think now the allocation of time is now just a little bit more different.
It is, isn't it? Gosh.
Yeah.
And as you age, time just feels different.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
It's funny. We spoke about this the other day. I just finished 8 years of study late last year, 8 years of part-time study. And I thought I was busy then, you know, in the last 8 years, but then we started mortgage broking, and halfway through last year, I had a full-time job. I was finishing a degree and I had a new business, and I learned what busy was.
Yeah.
I laugh at my past self thinking I was busy. But Jai, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
And then I'm going to ask you the same question actually, because you're both successful property investors. I feel weird saying that to you because we've done this together.
I mean, you're right.
I know. You're welcome. We've done well. But Jai, you've done really, really well. You and Danica have built a really solid portfolio, and you've been at this for a number of years now. If we went back to the start and you had $50,000, what would you do? So brand new investor.
Very good question. $50,000 today won't buy you too much. So I guess we've got to just put into perspective average house prices today. If I only had $50,000, I would buy the best quality asset that I could afford with that, which is probably realistically $50,000 would probably be enough for me to get into a property with a 5% deposit. With a bit of stamp duty or lender's mortgage insurance. So that's probably something around 500K max, I'd say. And I find the first move that you buy for people, you have to realize it's not going to be the best asset. And I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong, right? Because they think the first one has to be perfect. But if I look back at my first purchase, it was by far the worst.
Yeah.
Right? A 1-bedroom unit, 42 square meters in North Sydney, which was the worst performing asset. I sold it 10 years after and I made less than $100,000, which is what, $10,000 a year. Yeah. Probably would have made more money putting it in savings or the share market.
Wow.
So if I put that into perspective, it actually did not do anything, right? So I think it's just getting your foot into the door, right? Getting into the market and buying a quality asset with whatever you can afford, all right, at that time. And then I think the learning process is going to be far greater than what the asset gives you, because that will then allow you to become a better property investor. You learn a lot more from failures as well, because this stuff you don't really get taught. No. Right? Even if you go through courses and buyer's agents and stuff like that, it's very hard for people to teach you failures and learnings, right? You really have to experience it firsthand. And I think it's all about just trying to find a good asset, a good deal, right? And that really just comes down to your own risk level and risk comfort as well.
I think you should thank past drive for that lesson. I think it's probably taught you a lot.
Yeah,
I dare
definitely.
say.
Yeah, and I don't regret it at all, because without that learning, I wouldn't have been able to get into better quality assets. I just bought more units.
Yeah, totally. We know the pain of that, don't we? Every time we try and put a valuation through for an apartment that's under 50 squares or 40 squares, depending on the bank, they definitely start getting a bit weird on us at times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what about you, Valentina? Very quickly, 50 grand, what are you doing?
Okay, am I being smart or am I spending $50,000 on our cat?
Well, I reckon you have almost spent 50 grand on that cat.
Oh,
Because he's
maybe.
got like a cat tree in every room of the house.
Yeah, but so the joy.
Every time I move the lounge, there's 15
Timpy's an
toys.
investment.
He is.
Well, he hasn't made us any money yet.
He will soon, not to
Maybe he's our one bedroom unit. He's our 42 square meters. No, smart spend.
All right, fine.
30 seconds, tell me.
Fine, I'll do smart spending. I think I would initially invest that if I was very new. Like, first off, I think I would actually start and invest that in me.
Okay.
I'd invest that
That's
in
a good
me,
one.
whether that's doing a course, getting in touch with buyer's agents, trying to expand my knowledge on the area, because I still really, not vaguely, strongly remember when I first started and trying to understand this world. And gosh, it's really hard. As someone that does not come from that at all, it was really hard. It's very hard concepts to get your head around, and having the right people around you to explain it and to take the time to explain it to you and support you in that learning is awesome.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's really powerful actually, because yeah, the knowledge is really, really important to get it right later.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't speak about that, right? They're always looking at, where to put your money in terms of like investment, but your biggest investment is yourself. And I think when you start off early, that's actually a really good thing to do, because your earning potential can be way higher if you invest in yourself in terms of like your skill sets and your job and your career. And that's sometimes what you need to do in the beginning, because you might not have the cash or the deposit. 50 grand is not really enough to really get something decent.
Yeah.
Your income level might not even be that strong. So why waste the effort in buying something when you haven't really built yourself up? Right. So I think that's actually a really, really nice, nicely well thought out answer.
I'm wholesome, what can I say?
Maybe another degree.
Yeah.
No more degree.
Okay, no more degrees.
Now I've got another question for you guys.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask like, what's your end goal? Right. I think this is a really interesting question, because I don't think there really is a such thing as an end goal. But I'm keen to hear from you guys. What does that mean for you? And what does that end goal look like for you guys?
Yeah, that's a question. Look, I think I'm trying to live my end goal now. And let me explain that. No, I'm not going to go quit my job and move to an island. I think balance is really important. You're only in your 30s once. You only, marry your partner once, hopefully. Although the statistics actually disagree with me, so I'll take that one back. Point of my story is, sorry to the married people out there. I think balance is really important, because if you work super, super hard and get to retirement age, you don't have your youth anymore. I just think it's a crazy concept that we work really hard for the majority of our lives to enjoy the end of it. So when I say I'm trying to live my end goal now, I'm trying to balance things. So I'm trying to be smart with making sure that I'm earning good money, I'm making smart investment choices, and doing all the important adult things. But also, I enjoy traveling a lot. I enjoy nice cars. I enjoy going out to dinner. And I want to enjoy these things throughout my entire life, because you never know when your time's up. So yeah, I'm trying to live my end goal now, which is just balance.
Okay, very good. And Valley?
I think my end goal, if I'm totally honest, is the ability, and I'm going to go back to something you said earlier actually, to choose. I think there's something super empowering about that. If I want to drop everything and go and see my mum for a week and stay with her and spend time with family. I can't do that at the moment. I have responsibilities and things I have to get done, and I can't just sort of drop my life for a week and to spend time with them. And I really would love to be able to do that. So end goal for me would be that I don't like using the word freedom either, but that choice.
Yeah. Oh, okay, very good. Thanks, guys. I think it's a question I've always wanted to ask a lot of people, because they have this goal that they want to achieve, and a lot of it is, financial security and hitting X number of passive income. But once you get there, a lot of people aren't that happy, right? But they need to have more of a reason of why they want to hit that goal, and what does that actually mean for them. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it really is just about having choices to do whatever you want.
Definitely.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Thanks.
Great. Well, good to open the doors and hear a bit about behind the scenes, and we'll have to check back in end of the year and go through how we execute this year and see a little bit more about.
I'll let you know how much I spent on the cat this year.
We don't want to know.
I'll give you an update.
We're trying to educate people to make smart investments. Pimpy's a good investment.
Pimpy's a good investment.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jai.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya.